You.
Welcome to As Above, So
Hi, everyone.
Below.
Yeah, man.
Howdy.
I swear,
Hello to Ethwo.
I swear we're professionals, really.
Are we though?
No.
What constitutes a professional?
Maybe.
You know what? Here's the thing. I think you can call yourself a professional when you've spent way too much fucking time doing it. Whether you make the money or not is a side thing.
Exactly.
It's like if you're a well-paid professional, that's great. But you could also just be the guy who spends 80 hours on D&D.
That's true.
Okay. So I was sitting on a chair.
Oh no. I
That's
already know
where I
where this
was.
is going.
I would like to sleep under the chair.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember now. We were in the tavern and Seraphina was told a bunch of shit
Yes.
that I need to remember. I have notes, but I don't know how I don't know if I remember to have to take notes.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I think
It's
I
probably
did.
nothing important.
No, it was important. Okay, here we go. Okay.
That was very important, but I will recap.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. For our audience, we will recap.
Oh yeah, it's totally not that my players forgotten that I, as a DM, forgot and had to watch the live stream 5 times.
I'm a great player. I remember everything.
It's not like it's been over 4 weeks since we last played.
Oh, what?
It be like that sometimes.
It's not like I spent 2 weeks in bed dying from strep throat either. You know, like.
So, DM, can we get a recap? Not because I totally forgot.
Again, professionals.
Professionals.
All right, so to recap, you all had essentially gone into Deb's bar, and with that information, you actually went to bed. Okay, you had actually gone ahead and gotten to know people. Ragnar blew a fucking hole through a window. And the town noble, the head of the town, actually came and visited to check on Janet, who seemed to be very distant from him and not really want to talk with him, which bummed him out, to say the least. He then was met with, "Go back to your room, we haven't started the game."
Sorry.
I'm trying to recap here.
I'm listening.
Rude.
Last time on As Below. Oh, fuck. Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
We're professionals, I promise.
We are also slap happy, and this game hasn't even started.
It's barely started.
And I want to point out, Seraphina, I try. I remember the message you sent me. I try.
It's okay.
But I'm just as much of a shit show as everyone else. This fucking Scooby-Doo laugh over there.
DM, please.
Coming back to it. God. We will have to dedicate one whole stream just us shooting. But coming back to it, okay. Essentially, you guys went ahead, got some information by listening in. Seraphine in particular listened in to the noble talking with Vaughn, who appears to be another noble, but doesn't really carry himself like one. He has several what appear to be thugs with him, but they seem to be treated as close friends. You also learned that Vaughn arrived with what appeared to be a drow woman who was covered head to toe, but people could very obviously tell. And he is staying in the noble estates. Vaughn actually talked to the noble in order to go ahead and say that he has some information on Janet's missing brother. You guys, after they left, decided to actually gain some rest. Seraphina, being the person who went to bed the least drunk and the earliest, woke up the earliest and ended up talking with Janet. Janet explained that her brother was celebrating his first big gig in town and went out to walk around and eventually head home. However, near the edge of town, he disappeared. They found signs that he just disappeared. There was no there was no scrimmage, there was no fight, nothing. He just disappeared. Last person saw him at the edge of town. There was a mention of goblins in the area, but you guys have not investigated that as of yet. And on top of that, Seraphina offhandedly remarked that she would look into what happened with her brother, Heelbrand. And Janet kind of half-heartedly smiled and said thank you, and eventually went back to work as her emotions built up. And that's where we're at. Seraphina's the only one awake right now. However,
was Vaughn the one that kind of like saluted Seraphina as he walked away?
Yes, Vaughn turned to you as he walked away and just kind of lightly saluted. Just that kind of like nonchalant, like I know that you were listening in.
Yeah. I was like, oh fuck, he saw.
To be fair, you jumped around the room 4 times trying to get better hearing on him. So
I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, you went from like sitting here, then to here, then here, then here, then
and
here,
then here. Yeah, that's where you stopped. You stopped not there. You stopped here, and we're like,
oh yeah. And I think they were sitting like over here or something.
Yeah, you literally seat top. and like one of the other guys saw you too. It wasn't even just Vaughn. One of the other guys saw you seat hopping, and you just like turned to the side, like scratch, like I don't what?
Like whoops.
Did you guys see that girl bar hopping earlier? Who's that?
This is. I wish you had used that line because I have a perfect reply from one of those guys being like, I don't think you understand what bar hopping is. But yes, that's where we ended the session. When it comes to what's going on right now, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and actually make this full screen because there we go. That's better. What actually is going on right now is that Ragnar is going to wake up first.
Yeah, my tail's dislocated.
Oh, that's right. He dropped his tail.
It wasn't dislocated. It was yanked on till you heard it pop and it hurt. So your butt hurts.
Doesn't help that I stepped on it either. But you opened up like a trash can.
Your first night in a bar and your butt already hurt. Congratulations.
And it's not even from the butt stuff.
Oh my god.
All right, I'll admit it. We're filthy degenerates. Going from
if my name wasn't enough to fill that in, I don't know what else to tell you.
Fucking Grinch ass Piccolo.
I freaking love that picture.
I'm gonna be real. I get mad vibes that this is a face Piccolo would have made at Goku being a bad parent.
So what's going on? What do we do next?
From there, Ragnar, you wake up in the room, sleeping on the floor. As you wake up, you see 2 half-orc legs sticking from underneath the bed, rather than on top of the bed.
Yeah.
What do you do, buddy?
I'm gonna make sure I didn't spill my drink because I definitely did not give it back. I kept that cup that has the fire brew in it because I couldn't find the bottle, so he's literally walking around with the cup.
So proud of you.
All right. I will say that since you passed out pretty hard, your mug is sitting like on the floor about a foot in front of you. Essentially,
I wasn't drunk.
And it is just sitting there, and the top is completely singed from you blowing it. It's been leaking over the night, so most of your drink is slowly leaking. It's just kind of on the floor because, again, you blew up the fucking mug. So like most of your fire brew is just slowly seeping onto the floor. There's like a small puddle of dark, like amber with a reddish tint on the floor.
I'm gonna like go out into the bar then and see if I can get me another cup.
Okay. As you go to leave and you open the door, the creaking noise hits Snack. Snack, I need you to roll for me because you drank the heaviest last night.
I did. I absolutely did. Me and
I need you to roll a con save with a DC of 13. Like a con save, you have to roll above a 13 or above.
Okay, let me see what my con is.
I will be right back. I'm gonna go get some water real quick.
Okay. Oh, cool. My con save is 4 plus 4, so.
Stay hydrated, guys.
So 15.
15. So you do not have a hangover.
Nope.
You wake up and you don't feel great, but you feel pretty good considering you've had worse nights, that you've woken up from.
I just kind of like slither my way out from underneath the bed, and I get up and I do like a big stretch. That was the best night's sleep I've ever had.
That's fucking terrible. As you get up, you see Gragnar getting ready to leave. He turns back and he sees you. What are y'all going to do next?
Morning. I'm gonna go get a cup. I'll be back.
Oh, I'll go with you.
Bye.
I am parched. And I'm gonna pick him up by his scruff and then just kind of
I have returned.
walk him to the bar.
I am always being carried. I have legs.
So do you fight this at all?
He grudgingly gets carried. He gets carried. He's not happy about it though.
All right, I'll do it for you then. Then you just go here. You get carried to the bar, and as you do, you see the bartender, and he turns around. He looks at you guys. So I'll just sleep.
Perfect. Can I have a tall glass of water, please?
I can do that for you. Do you wanna? Are you hungover a little bit? You want something special, or you just want some water?
What does that mean?
Raw eggs and beer.
Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah, I'll take that. And water.
Yeah. So he goes ahead and he puts he puts a tall mug of water in front of you, and he gets what looks like, it almost looks clear, and he looks at you and says, "This is the lowest possible content we have, but what it does, and it takes the edge off." And he puts it. He cracks 2 just white eggs in there. And he just mixes it around, so they're not even just the egg.
They're not whole.
Yeah, he just mixes it around, and he grabs a little mechanical trinket almost from underneath, and he sets it down, and he sets the what appears to be a small metal mug that he's put this concoction in on top, and he grabs a match, he lights it, and he turns on what appears to be a little lever, and he smiles as he looks at it, and it lights, and suddenly you start seeing that there's a flame warming up your drink. It's always better warm. My nephew made this for me. I can't thank him enough. Being able to make warm drinks like this without having to have a full stove is amazing.
Nice. Also, I want to clarify, I don't have a hangover. It just sounded really good.
Oh, this is gonna taste like absolute shite.
Hell yeah, give it to me.
And he turns as he's waiting for this to warm up. He looks at Ragnar. What can I get you, buddy?
A cup.
Just a cup?
Yes.
An empty cup.
Did say he was coming out here for a cup.
Okay. And he grabs it and he stops for a moment. You're not gonna blow something up again.
No, that was yesterday.
Okay.
Today is a whole new Gragnar.
And he sets it down in front of you, and it's a little bit smaller than the one he gave you beforehand. It appears that they don't really have matching sets. It's whatever the bar has. So he gives that to you, slides it to you, and then he sees Serafina walk up. And how can I help you?
Breakfast would be nice.
Breakfast. He turns around, pulls that metal mug off with a cloth, and he sets it down in front of a snack. What do you want? We got eggs, we got dried meats, we got wet meats.
You know what just surprised me? As long as it doesn't taste awful.
All right. I'd like to think that the owner, cooks well. And he takes a deep breath. Hey, boss! and you can hear like he's trying to be chipper. You can tell he's still in trouble. He probably got an earful last night after what happened. And eventually he comes out. She's only a little bit pissed about last night, so we're good. She's gonna go ahead and get you this nice little platter. It's gonna have like some vegetables on it that we need to get rid of, and it's gonna have some eggs. I think she said something about like an omelet. I don't know what that is. She cooks.
Can I do an insight check?
Yeah, go ahead.
On if whether or not it's going to be good, and he's lying to me.
Go for it.
Meanwhile, in the background, Gragnar snuck his way back to the room, and I'm chugging a raw thing of eggs.
Eggs and warm beer.
Yeah. It's not 20.
It actually tastes horrible. It's got this weird eggy texture. And it's chunky. If you've ever drank raw eggs, you know that the white yolk goes first and then the yellow goes last. But in this case, with it being mixed, it's like super smooth and chunky, super smooth and chunky, super smooth.
Can I make like an audible like slurping sound?
Sure.
Like.
With headphones on, don't do that again, please.
It's just water.
And Lustria, you rolled a 21, is that correct?
Yep.
You rolled a 21. He's not lying to you. He's being very honest that he thinks that the owner cooks really well. He offhandedly mentions that he just does drinks. He knows bartending. That's pretty much it.
Oh, okay.
And even that he like learned secondhand. He's not anyone famous or anything, but he knows how to make the drinks people want. And so like he's not the person to like decide whether or not it's being cooked a specific way, but he's eating it. You can look around, and last night you saw plenty of people eating the food there. And not really complaining about anything. So you can assume that like it's going to be cooked fairly well.
All right, I'll take the omelet.
And we'll say that about 10 minutes go by, and the door opens. Deb, the owner, comes on out. Here you go, darling. And she just sets down what looks like a full plate of eggs with diced onions, green peppers, carrots, seasoned lightly, steam coming off. There's a little bit of bacon on the side, as well as a small container or a small bag of made wrapped in paper that she slides to you, and she goes, "It's on the house. I know you talked with Janet, came by before she went home early today. It's a little emotional, but thank you for just talking with." And she slides it to you. What do you do?
I'm gonna give her a nod and taste the food and see if it's as good as what's his face claimed.
So you take a bite of this, and as opposed to the odd slurping noises and terrible taste of that drink that Snack was getting, you get a completely perfectly seasoned scrambled omelet.
Wow.
Okay. You get something that like it tastes like home cooking. And for you in particular, Serafina, you have a small flashback to your little cabin.
Yeah, I was yeah.
You growing up, you were always fed fancily. You were given the top of what was considered good food, but it started tasting bland to you probably about the time you turned 11 or 12 because it was always cooked to a specific temp and way. And there's a difference between like cooking en masse and cooking a personal meal.
Yeah.
And it takes you back to the first meal you ever had with him, where he made you eggs from the chickens he had and fresh bacon. A meal that was completely prepped specifically for you, lightly salted, lightly peppered, and it just takes you back to that moment, split second.
Thank you. Shit, what was her name again? I'm sorry. Not Janet. Deb. Thank you. Thank you. If I still lived where I lived, I would do as a personal chef, I think.
And Deb sits there and goes, well. And she just kind of smiles a bit, and she smiles at you, then turns to the bartender and immediately kind of frowns, and he goes, I'm just cleaning my cup. My mug. And she sees Snack coming back and smiles, and then she proceeds to just go back to her back area. Which you guys have seen her come and go in this space. You can assume this is like the kitchenette area where she kind of cooks and things like that, and kind of her little getaway from everything. Snack, you've come to the bar. What are you requesting?
So I like to imagine, because I was over here and then I was over here and then now I'm here. So I like to imagine like the smell of the food just had me like drifting this way and just being like, whoa, what is that aroma? And then realizing it's not coming from my friend, but that it's coming from her plate.
She's gonna kind of look up at Snack. Can I help you?
That smells amazing.
Tastes amazing.
Can I get one of those?
The bartender goes ahead and he goes, yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and I'll let the boss know. And he goes into the back. And as he goes into the back, you all are kind of relaxing. And let's see. At this point, give me just a moment. I've got to pull this up here. Let's see. Where is he? Vaughn, you beautiful bastard, where are you?
I don't think that was Vaughn. The bald old man.
Yeah, the Vaughn I saw, he was kind of a snack.
That one?
Yeah, him.
Thirsty ass motherfuckers.
I don't know. I'm more a fan of his cousin.
Yeah. Fun fact, she's dating his cousin in the other campaign.
That's right.
But Vaughn comes in and he looks around and sees that you guys are the only ones here and immediately throws open his arm. Well, just the people I'm looking for. And he proceeds to walk towards you guys.
Serafina is gonna kind of stand up and just kind of be on guard.
And he looks at you and he kind of frowns a little bit. For somebody who's listening into my conversation last night, I thought you'd be all happy to actually talk to me.
Who are you?
I'm not.
The name is...
Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Vaughn. I am going to be assisting the local noble with a missing persons.
Was that the bald guy from earlier?
Yes, the asshole who I don't really know how to really go about this talking about it. But
bald guy from earlier.
Yeah, that works. Yes, actually. And I might need a little bit of assistance.
Why should I be helping you?
Because you're close to Janet.
I wouldn't say close, I just offered my services.
And this would most definitely help her, considering the missing person is her brother.
What's in it for you?
I get a favor.
Oh no, I'm not doing favors for nobles.
No, I get the favor from the noble. You get going.
You pay us, and you get a favor from some rich dude?
Bingo.
What's the favor?
Save Hillbrant.
Should we know
Can I make an
what that
insight check?
is?
Yeah, you can do an insight check. And he goes, Hillbrant is Janet's brother who's been missing for 2 weeks.
Oh, I never filled you in, Snack. Apologies.
I thought that was a place. I am so sorry. I feel like that was very rude of me.
Yes,
No problem.
Janet, the girl that works here under Deb, her brother is missing. And I may have told her that we would go look for him.
Okay. Where do we start?
Well, I guess Vaughn, now that you're here.
Yeah.
Just so coincidentally.
No, it's not a coincidence. I left a glyph of warding here to listen in on all calls. And he walks over to the stage. And
if the owner would appreciate that.
And he reaches underneath the stage and pulls out a rock with like a glyph written on it.
And that's a rock fact.
Shut the fuck up.
So do you want to tell Deb that you're eavesdropping on her patrons' conversations?
I'll do it.
You can if you like. There were no damages, and it was me trying to go ahead and just gather some information about the town.
Deb!
And the bartender is like turns around. Deb comes out. Yes.
Hey, I don't know if you care or not, but that pretty-faced boy over there has been eavesdropping on your patrons. He put a rock under your stage, and apparently it's been listening to everyone's conversations.
Deb tilts her head and looking at you, and then looks at Vaughn, and Vaughn just kind of goes like, if you guys can see me in the camera, he goes, "Hi, how you doing?" He just waves ever so keenly, and she goes, "A rock that can listen in."
Yeah, something about like magic rune shit.
Yeah, and he proceeds to walk over to the table he was sitting at, and he reaches underneath the table and pulls out another rock, and he holds up both, and then proceeds to come back. And Deb goes, "You get any dirt on anyone?" Yeah, there's at least 3 affairs in this town. Huh. Knew it. And she proceeds to just go back into the back room.
Well, I guess if she doesn't care, I don't either.
Vaughn literally kind of scratches his head. It's a bar. You listen into people's conversations without even trying. If they can't keep their mouth shut, that's not on me. And he proceeds to walk.
I think more if it's not against the law, it's not a problem.
Oh, that is most definitely a moral gray area. Most towns don't have rules against certain magical uses just because they don't have the amount of mages necessary to do so. Y'all want to sit down? Have a meal on me?
I already had my meal, but
I'm still waiting on mine. But I don't want you to spoil it with your face.
So
you are a treat.
No, I'm a snack, actually.
Humor. Nice. At that point, Deb comes out and she just kind of brings the meal down and sets it down at the table. Not really realizing not really realizing what's going on. She just sets it down at the table and then proceeds to just walk. She starts walking away and goes, "Oh wait, do y'all need anything else? A drink?" Vaughn raises his hand. I'll take some fire brew and some beer. Okay, we're selling a lot more of that than we usually do. And she proceeds to head into the back.
I'm gonna pick up my plate and sit right here.
There is no seat there.
Yep.
All right, so Seraphina is going to take her plate and just kind of plop down, annoyed.
Fine. I'll sit as close as I can to Seraphina without being too close to Vaughn.
and Vaughn sits there for a second. He kind of sniffs the air, similar to how you did, Snack. He goes, and as the bartender comes, can I get that too? I haven't actually had a full meal in like 2 days. And the bartender, as soon as he gets to a spot, immediately turns around and proceeds to head back into the back. And you hear this sigh from him. Like he just wants to stand in place like he normally does, and now you guys are making him actually do his job. Vaughn sits there, and as he looks around, he takes his hand and he taps onto the table. And you hear like an actual a tap, and he's just going.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
No, I couldn't hear that.
Okay, so essentially it's a tap similar to.
Nope.
So like Morse, kind of.
Yeah, kind of like Morse, and at that time, you hear kind of a buzzing noise. For a split second, and he pulls out a different object. He pulls out what looks like a big gold coin. Probably about.
Can I stop you really quick? My dirty ass mind was just like, you better finish that sentence. Every single one of those sentences. It starts vibrating. He reaches under the table. He pulls something out, and it's big and golden coin. And I was like, excuse me? I get it, you're rich, but damn.
He pulls out a big gold coin about 3 inches in diameter with a blue rune carved into it.
A blue rune?
Yeah, blue rune carved into it. And he sets it down in the center of the table. And the blue, what looks like it looks like a gold coin with a blue rune that is slightly pulsing. And he sets it on the center of the table, and he goes, "Now we can talk."
What is this?
It essentially is a counter magic spell. It means that no one can use any magic within a 40-foot radius. It was very expensive.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna start eating my food.
You have people coming after you, or are you just afraid of me?
Do I have a reason to be afraid of you? Are you a magic user?
I don't know. I am a magic user.
Okay, and the bartender goes and he brings out Vaughn's meal, and Vaughn pulls out essentially like 3 gold and hands it to him. He stands there staring at it, wide-eyed. He's like, "For the tab, and the rest you can." And the guy goes, "All right." And Vaughn basically goes, "If you stay in the back." He turns around, looks at Vaughn, "Fuck it," and proceeds to head to the back of the bar. I'm not scared of you. Okay? I'm more scared of ears and eyes that don't need to be around being around. In fact, my 2 friends are standing outside deterring anyone from coming in right now.
That explains why there hasn't been many people.
Not really. Let's put it simply. Places like this earn anywhere between 3 to 4 gold a day on average. Okay. I just basically paid for the bar for the night. They won't be missing anyone coming in or out. When I do what I do, I try to make sure that I don't cause too much of a problem.
So you said you can help us.
It's more that you can help me. Unfortunately, the person who has Healbrand has seen my face and I've seen theirs. So me interacting with them directly would be a bit problematic. But
So
I have a
So he
Go ahead.
was kidnapped?
Yes. Inadvertently, but the person who has him doesn't quite want to let him go. A bit of an obsessed type, I would say. If you catch my drift. Essentially, there is a noblewoman who's traveling through the town. The young man caught her eye. And when he was stumbling around, I assume he was picked up. I saw him in her abode, basically trying to get out, and stopped by several very well armed guards. She saw me, I saw her, and all I was doing was walking around at night. The day is usually when I probably.
Say it again, you cut off.
Yeah.
Essentially, when I was walking around at night, I stumbled upon her abode. I am renting the place across from the location, so I know where you need to go. I know how you can get in. But the problem is she's seen me, I've seen her, she's seen the local noble. Welleth is, Janet doesn't know, but Welleth is aware of where Hillbrant is. Can't do anything, though. Not without taking the chance of this town being shut down or burnt off the face of the map.
By who?
The worst kind of noble. A Kingdom United noble. And if y'all would want to roll, so Snack, if you could roll a history check for Kingdom United, and Seraphina, if you could roll as well, you
history?
will. Yes, or actually, for you, yeah, it would be history.
Let me see.
I don't know shit. I got a 4.
Okay.
Got a 7.
Wow.
With our powers combined.
We have 11.
So, I will say, because of your placement, you're still going to get a little bit of information, Seraphina.
Okay.
As for Snack sits there and goes, okay.
I'm just like,
I imagined her slurping aggressively again on her tray.
Ew. I have a knee-jerk reaction to that concept now. And you know that the nobles of the Kingdom United really don't leave the Kingdom United very often. There's only one family that's known to do so because you've come in contact with them. But you don't really know a lot about them. You know that they deal with some sort of business and trade.
Okay.
Vaughn sits there and goes, where are your other compatriots, your other friends?
Our potato grabbed a cup and went to the room. Another one was having a threesome with a couple.
I think they left out of character.
So out of character they did, but y'all don't know that.
I'm gonna go check on our potato. I'll bring him back.
Okay.
Yeah, how's Ragnar doing?
The entire time I've been in there, because I don't know who has it, I've been pretty much, I put all the alcohol inside the cup. I don't know how much is left over. If it's not enough, I'm looking for the barrel.
Brofum has that, but I'm gonna pick you up. Actually, no, I'm not even gonna bother picking you up this time. I'm just gonna grab you by the scruff and drag you. Come on. Come on, let's go. We got important information.
Poor kobold is treated more like a satchel than a human. Than like
my
an
God.
actual living being, and like an actual sentient being.
And I'll sit
He's gonna
him
let
right
it happen.
between us.
He's just holding his freaking cup.
Vaughn watches this and just kind of goes, huh.
What's up?
I didn't pick them. They found me, so.
What's up?
Technically, they found me too.
If I remember correctly, you're the one that blew yourself through the window, right?
No, that was Ragnar.
Gragnar. You are Gragnar.
No, I said Ragnar.
Okay.
Didn't know there were a lot of kobolds in this town.
Yeah, me
And
either.
he just smiles and proceeds to just kind of pull out a card. Pulls out a singular card, and on that card, it just has on one end, it's like a deck. It's like a card from a deck of cards, and it has a V on the back in gold embroidery with a black face. And then when you flip it over, it has an ace on it. And on that ace is what looks like a skull. Snack, you would recognize this skull as a goblin skull.
Oh.
It is the skull of a goblin done in gold on top of this black ace. A very fancy card. And he says, this is how you're going to go ahead and get in.
Goblins?
An abandoned goblin cave.
Let me see that. She holds out her hand.
And he hands it over.
So this place is an abandoned goblin cave?
They run all throughout the country. They're underground. Goblins, kobolds, and other ancestries run underneath this area and throughout the country. There are cave entrances all around. I'm sure that your friend here, pointing to Gragnar, could vouch for that.
Yeah.
Maybe you can show us around your native lands.
Probably. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know where I am until I'm underground.
The caves underneath this city have been abandoned for a very long time, but there's also water and rivers that run underneath. That's where this town pulls its resources from. You can get underground either by traveling out of town or sneaking into the well. But if you sneak into the well, you're going to have to swim for about 30 feet before you can get any more oxygen.
Ugh.
I can do something about that.
Okay.
Well, I'm a strong swimmer, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Now, the reason I'm coming to you is because I just ran into Janet outside not too long ago. In tears, might I add. Took some time to console the young lady, talk with her a bit, and she mentioned a wonderful young lady inside who was willing to help and seemed very capable. So, here I am. Now, I'm more than happy to compensate you for any damages, losses, anything like that. I even brought some gifts. I just need to know that if everything goes south and everything goes to absolute shit, me and the town noble will have no hand in it. If the town noble is found to have a hand in it, the Kingdom United will consider it an attack on this young lady.
Is she from there?
She is, and she's one of the most powerful family's youngest daughters.
Oy.
And they focus on slave trade. Very prominent family.
Wait. They do the slave trades via the ships?
They do slave trade via ships and black market, but black market connections don't exist for the Kingdom United. They bring in individuals from the day hand, and anyone who's a criminal ends up going into indentured servitude, which can last anything from a few years to the rest of their life, depending on who they pissed off, not necessarily what they've done.
Slavery is illegal here.
Slavery is illegal here. The Kingdom United is its own body.
So then how are they getting the slaves?
Criminals and a lot of not human, not elves in that area.
Fun.
How much do you know about the Kingdom United?
Me? Oh, just not much other than I used to load ships. That's why I'm asking.
I have
Fuck is the
come in
Kingdom United?
contact with a few of their noble people.
What was your name that you have contacts with the noble, if I might ask?
Something we can talk in private about.
Yeah, it's none, and then yeah, and then business. Very common family if you haven't heard of them.
Cute. I think it is a bit of my business considering I'm offering you a job. It could be of help to me in the future, or it could be a detriment.
I don't mind helping, so long as you promise me something.
What promise?
If the Kingdom of Ashengard comes here looking for me, you didn't see me.
And his eyes get wide for a second.
Ragnar, are we supposed to know what that is?
So
I don't even
Ragnar
know what are we agreeing to?
Ragnar has no fucking clue.
He has no idea.
That man has literally lived under a rock his entire life.
And it's a nice rock.
Yeah.
Bro, Snack, you would know Ashengard as like a far off city that you've made shipments to, that you've brought shipments in for. And for your knowledge, you would know that they usually require like magical items and stuff that would be more attuned to wizards and sorcery and magic. Like most of their shipments are very heavily guarded, and the minute they come in, you recognize what appear to be Dragonborn picking up most of those packages. But to something that throws you off, because you've met Dragonborn in the past, these Dragonborn have tails. Dragonborn don't typically have tails. They claim to be Dragonborn and they have tails, and it seems very odd to you.
So this wouldn't be alarming to me that Seraphina, being a magic user, comes from a place of magic users. Like that wouldn't be surprising. So this is not like wow
but
to me.
It is very rare to see magic in this country. The fact that you have Gragnar and Seraphina with you is odd, because you personally have never seen two sorcerers or magi.
I've never seen them use magic.
Yeah, well, you saw Gragnar do it, but you've never.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, you've never seen two magic users in the same place unless it was like high noble society. Because in this country, typically, if you have the capability for magic, you're picked up by either the Kingdom United or by noble families to be taught and indoctrinated into the family.
Oh, okay.
So magic is power, and the rich like power. And the poor want power. So, Vaughn sits there for a moment, and he kind of leans into the table. Now, why would a young woman who appears to be a noble be on the run from a place that only has 3 noble families?
Why is that your business?
Yeah, because Ashengard is one of the magic capitals of this country, let alone the world. There's only like 3 or 4 places you can learn magic in depth. Ashengard is one of those places. And from 300 meters away to 300 miles away could pop up anywhere. Their magic is very versatile, and they hold it close to their chest. There's not a lot to learn. Actually, there's a lot for me to learn. And he kind of stops for a second. He thinks. Deal.
Just like that?
Deal.
Can I make an insight check on him?
Yes.
I'm going to do the same.
Go ahead.
Fucking 4! Come on!
You're looking him up and down, and he is looking at you with a slight grin, and that's pretty much it.
What is my insight? Give me 1 second. Oh, there it is. 13.
You look at Vaughn, and the way that he is staring intently at Seraphine, and it's almost as if he's cut everything out for a moment and he's thinking. You can tell that he's contemplating something, but you're not sure what. And it seems that he's more taking in like some thought that crossed his mind. You know what I mean? Like he was talking about something and then he stopped and something crossed his mind. And remember, he said there is something I can learn from this.
So I'm going to go to the end of the table and I'm going to put one hand down on the table and another one in front of Seraphina's face to like block the eye contact. What do you get out of this? This seems odd to me.
Oh shit, hold on, I gotta read. I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay.
Thank you, Dupixels, for the raid. I appreciate it. How are you guys?
And
thank you. Anyone else getting lag spikes? Oh no, I don't know.
Individuals who
if it's lagging, I apologize. I don't know what's going on. I know Aaron's internet's a little weird.
Meaning, she doesn't want to be seen. She doesn't want to be known, which means she will be the quietest person in the room. That's a benefit.
You're not going to be using that against us, are you?
No. I am a man of my word. Believe it or not, I am a man of my word. I'm willing to sign a blood oath, a contract, whatever you want. I will keep my end of the bargain.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. I make lots of friends and lots of enemies, and I do that because I keep my word. You keep your end of the bargain, I will keep mine.
Fine. So long as Seraphina is okay with it. It's not my business, per se.
Okay.
I'm still a little...
Where did Gradnock go?
He wandered off to the kitchen area. And Vaughn points to the kitchen door. He says he wandered off there about a minute or two ago.
Yeah, he literally, like, I didn't even walk around the counter. He literally scrambled over the counter and, like, peeks in the back door. You got any eggs?
And, freaking Deb turns around, looks at you. Get out of my kitchen.
I'll pay for them. I just want eggs.
I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of my kitchen.
Fine. I don't want them cooked, though. And he wanders back to the
And as you leave, she pushes him out. Wait, no, he paid me to be in here.
Oh my god.
6 eggs coming up.
So
I don't want them cooked.
Yeah. And literally the door opens and there's a small basket of eggs and he just kind of brings he kind of walks around. Oh my god.
Oh god, he got bigger and smaller.
Yeah. He walks around, he gives you the eggs, and then he brings Vaughn's meal out and sets it down. Sorry about that, sir.
Yes.
And Vaughn goes, it's fine, and he pulls out 5 silver and gives it to him. He's like, and this man's eyes are getting big at this point. The bartender's like, holy shit. And he's like, I'm gonna actually go ahead. I will, if you need me. He goes and he pulls out like a bell. He puts it on the counter. If you need me, just and he actually grabs it, just sets it here. He sets it right here. Just like, you need me, man. You go ahead. You slap that mother. You do what you gotta do. And he goes ahead and he goes to the back. He's like, look. You hear him go, look. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. This is what he's giving me. And you hear Deb go, oh my fucking god.
And the door slowly closes.
Yeah, the door slowly closes as you hear the bartender say, are you going to complain about it though? Like,
I can see him sitting in the corner, like, while she's working, and he's just there, like, helped.
Yeah, he is. He's sitting on the barrel. She's at her desk. And as that food is set down, you see Vaughn sit there, and he actually goes ahead and he starts eating his meal. Just kind of nonchalantly. Gragnar, you are given a small basket of 6 eggs.
Yep, and you see him, like, you see Vaughn eating his food normally, and you literally see Gragnar grab an egg, and he starts eating shell and all.
Oh.
Vaughn looks up as if nothing is phasing him. He goes, "It's a good source of calcium," and he proceeds to just eat the rest of his meal.
Just crunching and slurping.
I mean, different types of lizards eat different things, guys. Like, it's not uncommon for eggs to be a delicacy.
Mm-hmm.
So, Vaughn.
And he saw that there were eggs.
Yes.
What noble house are you from?
I am a. Oof. That's a bit of a complicated thing. I'm not from this country.
Where are you from?
Stolaya. If we're going to be completely honest, I'm from Stolaya.
Do I know anything about that place?
You know that in your education, you were told that Stolaya is a collection of city-states and that it is a dangerous country. You were tutored by both Kingdom United tutors as well as tutors from your family house. And the Kingdom United tutors were the ones who kind of hinted that like other countries are a problem and that they're uncultured. Whereas your tutors just kind of taught you world history.
Mm-hmm.
It is theorized that Stolaya at one point was a country wiped clean of life, much like the rest of the world. There was a point in history where all life is expected that it died out. Within weeks, it was completely wiped clean. And that life started anew after some sort of magical explosion happened on the continent of Stolaya. That's all you know.
She's gonna kind of look surprised a little bit. What was that like? I've only heard stories about that place.
You'll find that the stories that you learn here are nowhere near accurate. Stolaya is a country of freedom. You can be... Good country. Yeah.
What?
It's a good country. It's a good country is what she said, and I would have to agree. I'm only here so that I can handle some business, and I've been kind of wrapped up in a few things, so I'm trying to make the best of what I have.
Are you still associated with them over there?
Loosely. My family lives there, and my cousin and his bride live there, so that's my really only connection. I haven't been there in 6-7 years.
A long time.
Yeah, it is a long time. And he kind of almost chokes up a little bit at the thought, and kind of collects himself.
I know a few ships that are going that way if you ever want to visit.
I can't right now. I've made a few promises. I've got some people I'm taking care of, and ended up taking care of a lot more people, actually.
I didn't say right now.
No, I appreciate it. I've got things to do here. The more favors I get from people up high, the better I can help my friends down low. You get what I mean?
Seraphina's gonna kind of sit there thinking for a moment. All right. I'll help you.
All right.
However, I will probably need a favor later.
Ooh. Reverse flavor.
That's going to shave off a few coins. Is that all right?
Fine. For me, at least. I don't know about the other ones.
I'll take mine in full.
Same.
I don't need no favors.
What are we agreeing to?
You're agreeing to break into a noble house.
Okay.
Again?
Again? What?
We've got a skilled one here. I'm so proud of y'all. He proceeds to point to the card that you took and states, "Keep that. That'll be a sign of the favor I owe you."
And she'll hand it over to Seraphina.
She's gonna take it, and then I'm gonna give my signet ring that I have from my, whatever I have. I'm gonna hand it to Vaughn.
You're handing over your family's signet ring.
Oh wait, never mind. I don't know what the fuck I thought this was. Never mind. I'm not doing that.
What? That'd be bad.
Yeah.
They find him and then they kill him.
No, yeah.
There goes your favor.
Okay. I will let you retcon that only because I completely understand you mistook what that ring was.
Yeah.
Woo!
As
your family crest ring.
Okay. So yeah.
If he didn't know who you were then, he would have figured that out real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. So Snack's giving me the card.
Yes.
Yeah, I gave you the card.
She's probably the best person to hold on.
Didn't you have another companion, actually? Another half or
Yeah. She's
been sleeping in.
Busy.
Well, I suppose that's all right. It's only 8 o'clock in the morning.
What? And she looks out the window. Fuck, it's late.
More like too damn early for. And you can see, and he almost like
when you work on the docks, you start as early as 5 in the morning. I don't know what the problem is.
And when he said that, as you were talking, he kind of drops character for a split second and rubs his eyes as if he's completely exhausted, and he just kind of goes, "Oh, okay." And then he kind of he raises his hand, he shakes his hands, he kind of rubs his temples a little bit, and goes, "All right, well, I will be." You know, it's probably better if it's not me. A friend will drop off some information for you guys. Give us 2 days. In 2 days, you will go ahead and do what needs to be done. And he pulls out a big satchel from his side, sets it in front of him, and then he reaches in and pulls out a bag. Sets the bag down, he opens it, and you can see gold and silver and some copper in there. And he proceeds to pull out, let's see. And he pulls out 30 gold, and he puts it into another bag, puts it back in his sack, and he hands you. Look at Seraphina, he drops a bag. The favor took off a bit. I'm paying in advance. As a show of good faith.
All right. Don't forget about our favor, and we'll be good.
Don't forget to do the job.
Well.
All right. And he proceeds to pick up that gold coin with the blue carved into it. And he kind of looks at it for a second. I will say this. The Kingdom United does not look kindly on those who attack their own. Especially when you are... And he stops for a moment, and he almost looks disgusted, and that's when Snack kind of walks out, for some godforsaken reason.
I walked outside, and I'm coming back, don't worry.
The drink you hid?
Huh? No.
Oh.
Brofum has that.
Oh, that's right.
So, like, in the middle of his explaining, I found out that what we could give you. Here's a rock, and she puts a rock on the table. You seem to really like them. So, there you go. That's our offering to you.
Thank you, Snack.
Yeah.
Thank you. And he picks up the rock, and he kind of looks it over. Not a bad rock, and he just kind of puts it in the bag. He puts it in the satchel where the gold was, and he just kind of closes it. And he proceeds to sit there, and he says,
they don't look kindly upon those that attack their own.
Correct. And by that, I mean they have wiped entire villages out. They're malicious second to none. And again, you want to try to do this as quietly as possible. But if you decide you need to go loud or something happens, might I recommend not killing the nobles?
The nobles?
The noble daughter. She's the youngest daughter of the family. And he pulls out a small sheet of paper.
We weren't planning on killing anybody.
So what you're saying is if there was to be a freak fire to happen, that obviously isn't connected to us, and her house burned down, don't do that.
I
That's what
mean,
you're saying.
Don't
if
do
you
that.
get if you can make it so that that freak fire has nothing to do with anybody, I mean that's a viable way to do it. But then Hillbrandt is inside, so
Ooh, yeah, we kind of need to get him out.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
and he pulls out a piece of parchment and he turns it and aims and slides it across the table.
Wait, who's Hillbrandt? I've heard like none of this conversation.
Oh yeah, we'll catch you up later. Don't worry about it. Pat, pat.
Cool.
And as he passes this over and you open it up, you see that it has a drawing of a young human woman on it. Dark black hair, brown eyes, dressed very fancily. It's basically like a headshot that's been drawn.
Right.
And underneath it says Karen Leloth.
Oh, it's a Karen.
How do you spell her last name?
Lethol.
Lethal?
Yes.
Okay.
Lethal.
Is this Lethal? Is this who we're
Lethal.
looking for?
Yes. This is what she looks like. Try not to bring any harm to her. Her family is the largest slave trading group in the Kingdom United. They work with indentured servitude as well as captured what they call subhumans.
Mm.
They have this idea that all races came from humans. And that humans are descendants of the Fae or Sylvan. Their mindset.
They've got their stuff all wrong.
Seraphina is going to visibly look very angry.
Anything that isn't a human, an elf, and possibly a dwarf is up for grabs. It's one of the reasons I don't recommend any of you really stepping into the Kingdom United. You stay free so long as you're not in the place, and the minute that you cause a problem, well, you disappear.
Snack looks visibly like perturbed.
Believe me, it's part of my job to cause this family as much hell as possible. It's one of the reasons I came to this town.
Yes.
I was following her.
Gladly help you with that.
I will also point out that my living quarters are literally next door. If you do decide to start a fire, please let me know so that me and mine can go ahead and be on a leisurely stroll to the park.
Oh, just look out the window and look for fireworks.
How would you say we would go about telling you if we were going to if there was going to be a freak fire?
You know what? I'll just not be home in 2 days.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Yeah.
I haven't taken my partner out on a date in a long time. We'll just take a nice night leisurely stroll. How about that?
There you go. That sounds like a good time. You should do that.
Yeah, take the scenic route. Take the scenic route just in case.
I don't see any problems happening on that night. I don't see why that particular night has to be the night that you go on a date. I see that as just a date night. You're having a wonderful, wonderful night with your whoever that is.
Also, again, recognize Kingdom United is one of the places with the biggest militia, which means they have access to the most amount of magic users in this country. There's a good chance that there's going to be some guards who are just normal guards, but there's also definitely going to be a personal guard with her.
So they're like the strongest military, essentially.
Yes. And personal guards for nobles are usually trained since birth when they're discovered to have magic abilities to be killers. So, depending on how you get Hillbrandt out, will have a big effect on what's going on. I will say he's being held in the noble lady's room against his will, information we gathered. And again...
Have you tried just buying him back?
You really don't know a lot about Aaron, do you?
About
No,
what?
you haven't met her. Karen Lilith. The Lilith family, when they see something they want, they take it. And she really wants this exotic young man with her. You see, he's known as Hellbrent as a nickname because he's a thief.
Oh, that's right.
They're extremely rare variants of humans.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, even in the Kingdom United, you don't come across a lot of them alive. So he's a very rare treat for a noble family.
What do they do with them?
He'll probably be forced to dress in a pretty suit of some sort and fuck her at night.
And then they'll eat
And I'm gonna push Gragnar out of his chair. Just kind of like.
Yeah. The intel I've gained from one of my fellows as he watched through the window was that she was very much trying to get him to partake in her. He wants nothing of it, it appears, but it's been 2 weeks, and she seems to be getting very impatient. So, recommendation, get in there before she decides to use a spell.
Would Seraphina recognize... because with Baltham, she was talking with a woman and her husband.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Would she make any correlation with that? Or does that have any correlation?
With both of them, the people she was talking to does not have a correlation, but hearing the name Lethal, you begin to put the pieces together. It's taken a moment, but hearing the name, you recognize that you have met them because they have tried to sell slaves to your people. And while your mother and father were very much against it, your uncle seemed to be contemplating, stating that it would greatly help to have hands that can work for no cost. But as far as you know, no deals were ever struck. And considering your family claims the lineage of Dragonborn, your understanding of the history of Dragonborn is that your family has only ever had servants, your particular family.
Mm-hmm.
And the only person to ever really vehemently be against slaves was your mother. And so vehemently that any chance of it happening was like just absolutely smashed. It was crushed. There was no chance. And you never understood why. Also, something that crosses your mind is you realize that your mother didn't have a tail. Despite other Dragonborn, most of the other Dragonborn, all of the other Dragonborn having tails that you.
Okay.
So that's something that crosses your mind. You recognize that they're slave traders and that they have come to your country in order to try to sell, and were turned away pretty harshly by your mother.
Okay.
Which again caused your uncle to be pissed, to say the least.
Enough dilly-dallying. We need to get going.
Again, you're going to want to wait 2 days.
I understand that. If we leave now, we can get intel. We can figure out how to get in without causing problems, and how to get what's his name out. The guy who sounds like a town.
Hillbrant?
We'll get him out.
Hillbrant?
Yeah, Hillbrant. That one. We'll get him out. But we really need to scope out the place first.
All right.
Without being detected.
Of course.
And he kind of scratches his head and he looks at Gragnar, he looks at you, and he kind of looks at the back room area, and he goes, one of my best friends has a saying. Humans are shit because they freak out about shit. And elves are freaky because they're freaky. That has a completely different correlation, though. But when it comes to the humans are shit because they Seraphina is going to be the only person who will walk that noble estate area and not be looked at twice. You're going to be looked at 10, 15, 30 times.
Well, then we're slaves.
Slaves are illegal in this part of the country.
The estate is
That's
still
the
in
Kingdom
town.
United. We are
You could-
servants.
And you can see the visible, uncomfortable feeling on Vaughn as if he himself were in this scenario, and you just look, he just goes, do what's necessary. But again, I gave you a kind of way to get in underground.
Yeah, but we're talking about scoping out the place first.
That's fair. That's fair.
We
But-
can't go
but
in
our-
blind. That would be stupid. Do you think we're stupid?
Wait, actually,
Oh, God.
I,
Are you
don't
holding
have
up
to
the
say
information on us?
no. I
You
just
don't
thought of something. I
expect us
just
to
thought
go
of
in
something.
blind. I'm
No,
gonna slam my hands down on the table.
No. And Vaughn leans back away.
We're trying to help you out.
I
You
just
want
thought of
something
something. I'm
yourself?
sorry. I just thought of something. It's
Yeah,
not. I'm
you're
not trying
thinking
to.
of it now before we walk out the
Please,
door. That's damn
please
good.
Again, I was expecting y'all to wait 2
Seraphina's
days. and I
gonna
Taking your
try.
breakfast and I take your plate.
Seraphina's gonna put a hand on Snack.
That's my. I didn't say cheating that.
Snack. I really don't think he meant that.
Fine, I
was
got free
trying-
breakfast.
I was paying for the breakfast anyway. And he kind of deflates a little bit as he's watching you eat his food. I got 3 bites and like 1/4 of a bacon slice.
Seraphina's
Bacon.
gonna kind of sigh and push her plate over to him.
No, it's fine. I can
Eat
I
the food.
hand him
I
a
can buy
single
more.
half bacon.
I don't want your pity. I don't want your pity.
Oh, I take
Here.
it back and I give it to Ragnar.
God, I half pictured Ragnar just like biting your hand in the process, like.
That would not bother me in the slightest. I just keep eating.
I was gonna say that there is going to be a gala event,
Gala.
and good old Karen won't miss a chance to show off how rich she is. So you could say check it out at that point tonight.
The gala's tonight.
Gala's
I like-
tonight.
Are we
I feel
going
like
to the gala
that-
or are we going to her house?
We might as well go to the gala and see what we can get information
I
on.
mean, you can go to the gala, you can go to the house. That's completely up to you. I would recommend the house just because no one's there and you can get a good feel of the place.
That's true.
I mean, if no one's there, then we could just take him then, right?
You could actually, yeah, good if you wanted.
Fucking, what is this? 2 days bullcrap?
I was gonna. It was 2 days because I have people watching the house, gathering intel, and actually building up a schematic of the house. Also, I have some friends digging that hole that will get you right underneath their house, and they're going to be done in 2 days.
Oh, that's
Right,
That's
but if nobody's gonna be that would have been nice to know before this whole 2 days plan.
It was supposed to be so that you would get in and get out without being seen. There's still going to be guards there. But
Unless
other question.
Yes,
I am
Ragnar.
literally wearing rags. I don't think I get into a.
Well, we can
I'm
find you something,
assuming a
Ragnar.
gala is a type of fancy thing.
Very fancy, very rich assholery thing most of the time.
Yeah, no, he's literally wearing rags.
I think those rags look good, and I pat you on the back like.
One of the strands of rags falls off his shoulder.
It's all burnt and crispy.
Oh dang, that would have happened.
Yeah, your rags are more like being held on by your sweat and ash. And here's the thing. Kobolds don't sweat, so I don't know what that is.
It's mucus.
Yes. I was gonna say, I think the fire brew. The sweetest of the fire brew.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm surprised this thing is in one piece. I'm not gonna lie. They kind of just gave him it because they were like, okay, you're not allowed to walk around like we walk around at home because they're gonna like lock you up or something.
They're gonna think you're a wild animal, son. You gotta dress civilized. You gotta dress civilized.
Civilized.
What's civilized? Well, it's technically a concept created by rich white colonists, but it's important.
I was gonna say it's being a white person, apparently.
Putting the politics to the side.
So
you guys,
we hitting up the ball, or are we hit? You know, actually,
I
better
think,
plan.
I think. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was thinking you go to the ball.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you go to the ball and you talk to the nobles because you know how to do all that noble shit. I don't give.
And then you guys
about.
go scope out the house.
Exactly. Oh, we're already on the same page. This is great.
And what house are you from?
Me?
Yeah, what house are you going to tell them that you're from?
Not my hometown.
And Vaughn kind of rubs his temple.
Oh, I have the card. Won't that get me somewhere?
That card will get you somewhere with friends in low places.
Oh,
not with them.
Well, you said you were from a house. Can't you get me something?
Oh yeah, why not your house?
I'm from House Vaughn.
So your name is Vaughn from House
My last
Vaughn.
My last name is Vaughn. I use it because giving my full name is a bit of a problem, and most people don't know that house here. I have a friend. Hold on. I have a friend. We'll get you some identification by tonight. How's that sound? We'll get you some identification by tonight. You guys use this time to do whatever the hell you need to do. Buy potions.
Get Ragnar some clothes.
Yeah.
For my knowledge, at least, is what's going on in Ashengard being known about the other nobles right now, or is it?
What do you mean?
So, would the other nobles know about what's going on with my family?
You don't know. You know that your uncle usually plays pretty close to the chest. He doesn't like sharing information, especially about what happened particular to you. But you don't know what's out there and you don't know what's not.
Okay.
Vaughn is offering you basically false credentials. And essentially allowing you to go to the gala. Vaughn does sit there for a second. Okay. I'll get you some documentation. I'll leave it here. Or rather, a friend will leave it here for you. What you can do is when you're at the gala, if you're going, I'll be there as well. You don't know me.
All right.
You've never talked with me except for last night when you saw me walking out and you thought I was the most handsome man in the world. That's it.
That's hilarious, but all right.
Breakfast. Both of our breakfast, actually.
Look, simply put, I will be there and I will have my +1. And we are going to be dealing with some other things at the gala ourselves. So again, you don't know us. I would highly recommend, and he looks at you, and you're dressed in some fancy garb, but you have dirt and sweat and everything because you haven't actually bathed since you arrived and everything. And he goes, I would recommend cleaning up.
Well, obviously.
And I would recommend using some of that payment to go into the richer part of town to make some purchases.
Let's get Ragnar some nice new clothes.
How much did he give me? 30 gold?
No, he took 30 gold out. He gave you 150 gold.
Nice new clothes. What is wrong with my clothes I have on now? I feel like it rips even more. He's what he said.
He stretches. He stretches and just
arms. He throws up his arms. What's wrong with my clothes now? And like the center just rips in half, and it's just like.
Well, Ragnar, it's the fact that you don't really have any anymore.
Fair.
All right.
All right, I pick him up suitcase style, like under my arm.
I can walk.
Oh my god!
Please let him walk. It's almost
sure. And I drop him.
Deck save to land because you're technically being dropped like 4 feet because she's tall as hell and you're short as fuck.
I'm good at deck saves. Oh shit! Holy fuck!
Like a cat.
19.
Ooh.
So she drops you and you just land on your legs automatically and just keep walking as if nothing's wrong. You're starting to get used to this. You're not sure how you feel about being used to it, but you're starting to get used to this.
He should start getting like what is it, advantages now when we pick him up. Specifically when we pick him up and drop him.
Oh,
Lord.
And one more thing. Have fun with it. And he hits the bell. Ding ding. He picks up that gold coin in the center and he pockets it.
So go ahead.
Oh, he picks up the blue coin, and he pockets it, and he raises his finger to his mouth, as if saying that the conversation should be done. How can I help you, sir?
His breakfast was delicious.
And he looks over, he sees the 2 plates, and he looks at him. Can I please get another one of those? Yes, sir. And he goes ahead and he kind of like books it. And almost immediately comes out, she was anticipating more. And freaking just lays down a large plate with like 4 or 5 pieces of bacon, a large thing of eggs. I'm making myself so fucking hungry right now. And I ate the last of the eggs like 4 days ago. And he goes, here you go, sir. And it looks like it's not as warm as the other food is. And just as the bartender goes in, Vaughn puts his finger on the plate, and suddenly you can feel a bit of warmth, and the plate is warm again, and the food is warm again.
Ragnar, did you break wind?
No, that was yesterday.
Are you sure? It's kind of warm in here.
I mean, I can make it a lot warmer, but I'm pretty sure she likes her place in one piece.
That's fair. Stop that.
So
Stop
Vaughn.
doing
And Vaughn picks up his plate.
Hold on. So where did you get that coin?
What coin? And he picks up his plate and walks away.
Rude.
And he sits down at a table far away and sits down. He starts eating his meal. And the way he eats his meal is he kind of wraps his arm part around the plate and he's watching y'all as he just eats.
I'm staring at him.
He locks eyes with you for a solid. He locks eyes with you for a solid like 60 seconds. And he scarfs the plate. He absolutely scarfs it. He doesn't eat like a noble. He eats like somebody who's actually been like at the forefront of war and is just like, this is my meal.
Oh,
Damn.
he's stealing his plate. Gave him PTSD. Is that what you're telling me?